Have you ever felt that gnawing sense of unfulfillment, that whisper in the back of your mind telling you there has to be more? You see others seemingly living with purpose while you're stuck in a loop, endlessly chasing the next fleeting source of satisfaction. You devour self-help books, hoping for that one golden nugget, that magic formula. You watch motivational videos, feeling a surge of excitement that quickly fades like a sugar rush. You meticulously craft vision boards, picturing a future you desperately crave, yet somehow it always remains just out of reach. You declare your intentions to the universe with heartfelt conviction, but the universe remains stubbornly silent. Why this frustrating gap between the life you envision and the reality you inhabit? Why does true, lasting change feel like chasing a mirage? If this search for an answer already stirs something within you, know that you are in the right place. Consider subscribing and turning on notifications, as the journey we are about to take together today could be the turning point you've been looking for. The answer isn't a secret. It's that you're likely avoiding the very truths that hold the key to your liberation. It's not that you lack desire, it's that you instinctively shy away from the uncomfortable realities that are the unavoidable price of admission. Our modern world has sold us the lie that comfort is the ultimate sanctuary, but this perceived safety is a gilded cage. In truth, comfort is the most insidious trap of all. It's the silent killer of dreams and the breeding ground of stagnation. The great Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, warned us against this seductive deception, this soothing voice that promises ease while silently stealing your potential. True, transformative growth never blossoms in the fertile ground of ease. It demands friction. It's forged in the crucible of uncomfortable moments when you make the conscious choice to face life without filters or excuses. The vibrant, purposeful life you secretly yearn for ignites the very instant you summon the bravery to stop running from the truth of where you stand right now. So, today is not about empty platitudes. We are about to confront 20 raw, unflinching truths. They aren't meant to shame you, but to serve as a jarring wake-up call, a powerful catalyst for the profound change you've been seeking, because once these truths land, there's no going back to the comfortable lies. And that is an incredibly liberating realization. If you are truly fed up with the charade and done waiting for a mythical turning point, then lean in. This is the Stoic path. This is how you reclaim your life. 1. No one is coming to save you. Deep down, many of us harbor a secret fantasy that someone or something external will swoop in and fix everything. A mentor, a soulmate, a golden opportunity. We cling to these narratives because they offer a seductive escape from the daunting weight of personal responsibility. It's far easier to believe that life owes us a rescue than to confront the truth that we are the captains of our own ships. But if you've lived long enough, you know this story's ending. The rescuer doesn't appear. The magic moment never materializes. And then the stark, undeniable truth hits you. No one is coming. There is no cavalry. There is only you, your decisions, your effort, and your will. As the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius reflected, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't ancient wisdom to be admired. It's a practical tool for modern freedom. The power you seek isn't out there. It has always resided within you. This is where many get stuck. They equate responsibility with guilt. Accepting this truth doesn't mean you are to blame for every adversity. The point is not self-recrimination. It is empowerment. It's the liberating realization that while you may not be at fault for what has happened, you are now 100% responsible for how you choose to respond. As Carl Jung stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." The shift begins there. Not in waiting for life to become fair, but in choosing to forge your own path forward. The chasm between who you are and who you aspire to be is filled by consistent, conscious choices. Every time you act when motivation is absent, every time you take responsibility for your own healing, you are constructing a life from which you will never need rescuing. You become the person you were waiting for. 2. Life responds to action, not emotion. We've all had nights when the weight of the world feels crushing, when a storm of emotions rages within: despair, frustration, anxiety. These feelings are powerful and undeniably real. In those moments, it feels as if the intensity of our emotions should change something. But here is a truth so brutally simple that many resist it. Life does not respond to your feelings. The universe doesn't pause because you are overwhelmed. Your life responds to one thing only: action. This might sound harsh, but there is profound liberation hidden within this principle. Because progress is tied to action, you always retain control, regardless of the emotional weather. Our society has romanticized motivation, conditioning us to believe we must first feel ready to act. This is a beautifully crafted excuse for inaction. If you wait for the perfect feeling, you will wait forever. Motivation is a fickle guest. Discipline, however, is a loyal ally, the quiet, unwavering commitment to show up, especially when you don't feel like it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Stop endlessly analyzing and waiting for inspiration. Just act. You can feel terrified and still step on stage. Your feelings are real, but they are not in charge. As Carl Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." The better version of yourself isn't waiting in the future. That version is created by the actions you take today. You don't need to be in the mood. You need to be on a mission. When you are clear about your core values, you simply show up. The more you show up, the more momentum works in your favor. It's not that life becomes easier, it's that you become stronger. Ask yourself, where am I outsourcing my power to fleeting emotions? What would shift if I acted as if my future depended on my actions today? Because it does. 3. You're not tired, you're scattered. Have you ever ended a day feeling completely drained yet unable to pinpoint any significant accomplishment? You were busy, but not effective. This isn't burnout from overexertion, it's burnout from fragmentation. Your mind is being constantly pulled in 100 different directions by notifications, emails, and the myth of multitasking. It's not your body that's exhausted, it's your focus that is starved. We live in an attention economy where every app and algorithm is designed to hijack your most precious faculty. They pull you out of the present and into a state of constant reaction. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." This is the essence of distraction fatigue. You are mentally scattered, foggy, and disconnected. The common trap is to think more. Rest is the solution. But rest won't solve the problem if your mind is constantly consuming junk. You don't fix mental overload with more scrolling, you fix it with intentional focus. Try this. Choose one thing that matters and give it your full, undivided attention. No phone, no distractions. You will feel energized, not depleted. This is the power of presence. Most of your fatigue isn't physical, it's spiritual. The ache of living out of alignment with your priorities. You leak energy all day on meaningless things. The fix is powerful. Simplify. Cut the noise. Build boundaries around your attention as if it's sacred, because it is. Your attention isn't a passive experience. It's a choice. When you start choosing where to place it, you start getting your life back. 4. Time is the only real currency. How often do you wonder, where did the day go? Or worse, where did the last 5 years go? Time slips through our fingers like sand, often unnoticed until we see how much is gone. We treat time as an infinite resource, something to be wasted on trivial distractions, assuming there will always be more. This is a dangerous illusion. Time is the one asset you can never recover. You can earn back money and reclaim your health, but a lost second is lost forever. Look at how we treat this priceless currency. We give away our mornings to mindless scrolling and our evenings to empty distractions. If someone gave you $1,000 each morning that would disappear by midnight, you'd be incredibly deliberate. Life gives you 400 seconds every day, and most of us give them away without a thought. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." We don't need longer lives, we need more intentional ones. The hard truth is that if you don't decide what your time is for, someone or something else will. Every quick favor and mindless scroll is a transaction where you trade a piece of your unrecoverable life. Be honest. When you say you don't have time for what truly matters, you often mean it's not a priority. Own that. Your daily habits are an unvarnished reflection of your true values. Build a schedule that honors the person you want to become, not just the urgent demands of the day. Protect your time as fiercely as you would your most valuable possession. 5. Growth feels like discomfort. Our lives are an elaborate architecture of comfort seeking. We hit snooze, choose the familiar path, and avoid difficult conversations. Our primitive brain is wired for survival, and to it, discomfort signals danger. In the modern world, this instinct has become a liability. The hard truth is this: you can be comfortable or you can grow, but you cannot be both at the same time. Real, life-altering growth is, by its nature, uncomfortable. It's the friction before an honest conversation, the awkwardness of being a beginner, the muscle soreness after a workout. We instinctively run from this feeling, but this is the very place we must learn to stay. As Epictetus taught, difficulties are what show a person their character. Adversity isn't an obstacle to be escaped. It's a mirror that reveals your strength. Your greatest transformations were likely born from immense challenge. Discomfort is what shakes you out of autopilot. Marcus Aurelius offered a powerful reframe: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That thing you are avoiding, that is your path forward. Not the easy detour, but the challenging terrain straight through. Every time you lean into that discomfort, you cast a vote for a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. You teach your nervous system that you can handle hard things. This is the bedrock of genuine confidence. The life you want is waiting on the other side of the discomfort you're trying so hard to avoid. 6. You will outgrow people. There comes a point in any journey of growth when you realize that the people and places that once felt like home now feel like a cage. The conversations that used to be fun now feel draining. The habits that once brought comfort now feel like anchors. This can be disorienting and guilt-inducing, but this isn't betrayal, it's evolution. The person you are becoming may no longer fit into the spaces the old version of you occupied. This is not only okay, it is necessary. Growth is often a quiet, internal restlessness, a craving for more depth and meaning. This evolution will inevitably ask you to let go of things that once felt safe but now feel small. It's tempting to cling to the familiar, but if you are constantly editing yourself to fit in, you will never discover who you are truly meant to be. Like a snake that must shed its skin to grow, you must be willing to shed the connections and identities that are now constricting you. This is not a rejection of your past, but an honoring of your future. If someone truly values you, they will not ask you to stay small to keep them comfortable. The people meant for your journey will either grow with you or respect your path. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to create distance, not out of anger, but out of a fierce commitment to your own becoming. 7. Weak boundaries equal a chaotic life. Peace isn't a destination you find, it's a structure you build. The foundation of that structure is boundaries, strong, clear, and sometimes uncomfortable. Without them, your life becomes public property, open to anyone's drama, urgency, and negativity. If you're not careful, you'll start to believe this is normal, confusing being constantly available with being kind. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are filters designed to let the right energy in. They are not selfish. They are the highest form of self-respect. They are a clear declaration to the world and to yourself of what you will and will not accept. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you betray yourself. Every time a line is crossed without consequence, you teach people that your needs don't matter. Setting boundaries will inevitably make some people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from you having none. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Their reaction is merely a sign that your boundaries are working. You are finally disrupting patterns that never served you. People who cannot respect your boundaries were never really respecting you. They were respecting your compliance. Losing that kind of energy from your life isn't a loss. It's a liberation. 8. You are what you do. Daily. You have big dreams, yet month after month, not much changes. Why? Because you don't become the person you hope to be. You become the person your habits shape you to be. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your identity isn't something you wish into existence. It's something you practice through the tiny, almost invisible actions you take every day. It's the choice to get out of bed instead of hitting snooze. It's not about grand gestures, it's about mind-numbing consistency. This is real discipline, showing up again and again, especially when you don't feel like it. Every small decision is a vote cast for the kind of person you are becoming. Your habits are the architecture of your life. If you are not intentional about their design, you will end up living in a structure you didn't choose. You can start rebuilding today. Start by making and keeping small promises to yourself. Wake up and drink a glass of water. Meditate for 5 minutes. These tiny wins teach your brain a critical lesson. I follow through. This is the source of genuine confidence. Over time, these small actions compound and your identity shifts. You no longer have to fight yourself every day. You simply become the kind of person who does the thing. 9. Most people don't care. That feeling of walking into a room and thinking all eyes are on you, it's an illusion. It's a psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect. Our tendency to overestimate how much others notice our appearance or behavior. The freeing truth is that most people aren't thinking about you at all. Not because they are unkind, but because they are the main character in their own movie. They are preoccupied with their own insecurities and problems. Think of the mental energy wasted replaying social interactions under the false assumption that someone else is keeping score. They are not. That embarrassing thing you said last week, they've already forgotten. The fear of judgment is a prison we build for ourselves, and the cost is immense. You lose your authentic self, the loud laugh, the quirky hobby, the bold dream. You play small to avoid imaginary criticism. The irony is that when you stop trying to manage others' perceptions and simply show up as yourself, flaws and all, people respect you more. Authenticity is magnetic. The courage to be seen is far more compelling than a flawless performance. Yes, some people might not like the real you. Let them. They weren't your people to begin with. The ones who stay are the only connections worth having. 10. You become what you consume. Your mind is not a fortress, it's a sponge. Whatever you soak it in, it becomes. Your thoughts, moods, and beliefs are the direct result of the information and energy you consume daily. If you spend your hours in a stew of outrage news, social media comparison, and cynical gossip, do not be surprised when your inner world reflects that chaos. You can't drink poison and expect to feel healthy. Why feed your mind garbage and expect to feel peaceful? This is a neurological reality. The content you consume shapes your neural pathways and directs your actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your perception of the world is bleak, look at your mental diet. This isn't about toxic positivity, it's about being a ruthless curator of your own mind. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and you choose what you spend it on. Start paying attention to how different inputs make you feel. Does that podcast leave you inspired or agitated? Does that conversation leave you energized or drained? These are vital signals. You have the power to mute, unfollow, and unsubscribe. You can replace an hour of mindless scrolling with 10 minutes of reading something that nourishes your soul. That one small change, compounded over time, will radically transform your inner landscape. 11. Motivation is a liar. How many great intentions have died with the thought, "I just don't feel like it today"? We wait for motivation to strike like lightning, but this is a trap. Motivation is an emotion, and like all feelings, it is fleeting, unreliable, and out of your control. If your progress depends on feeling motivated, you are building your future on sand. People who achieve great things don't have a secret source of motivation. They have discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the commitment to your future self that overrides the whims of your present self. It's the quiet voice that says, "We're doing this anyway." As Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. It is built through small, consistent, and often boring actions. The days when it is hardest to show up are the days that matter most. Anyone can work hard when inspired. What sets you apart is what you do when you're not. This is where momentum is born. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Stop giving your power away to a fleeting emotion. Build systems and routines that carry you forward on the days your feelings betray you. 12. You don't need to control everything. The attempt to control every outcome, person, and variable is the single greatest source of human anxiety. It's an exhausting dance that leads to burnout. The hard truth is, you never had that control in the first place. It was always an illusion. We think if we just plan harder and worry more, we can insulate ourselves from pain. But life doesn't work that way. The foundational principle of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus stated it simply: some things are up to us and some things are not. Most of what we worry about, what others think, the weather, the economy, falls into the second category. Your peace is directly proportional to your ability to focus your energy exclusively on the first. You cannot control if it rains, but you can bring an umbrella. You cannot control another's behavior, but you can control your boundaries. This isn't apathy. It's a radical redirection of your energy. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of the things you cannot change and poured all that reclaimed energy into what you can. Your effort, your attitude, your choices. This is the source of true power. It's not the fantasy of controlling the world, but the quiet confidence that you can handle whatever the world throws at you. 13. You teach people how to treat you. It's a difficult truth, but people do not treat you based on your inherent worth. They treat you based on what you tolerate. If you consistently allow your boundaries to be crossed and your needs to be ignored, you are silently teaching others that this is acceptable. It's not just about their actions, it's about the standard you set for yourself. Respect isn't demanded with words, it's commanded with actions. A lack of clear boundaries is often interpreted not as kindness, but as weakness. People will naturally push until they meet a firm boundary. If there is none, they will keep pushing. Your silence becomes permission. Your hesitation becomes an invitation. Setting a boundary doesn't make you mean, it makes you clear. You can be kind and still say, "That does not work for me." True peace in relationships comes from the safety and mutual respect that clear boundaries create. Remember, the people who leave your life when you start setting boundaries are the very people you needed to lose. They weren't your friend. They were a friend of your lack of boundaries. 14. Advice reflects the giver, not always the truth. Everyone has an opinion, often eagerly shared. While well-intentioned, it's crucial to remember that all advice is autobiography. When someone tells you what you should do, they are speaking from the filter of their own experiences, fears, and unfulfilled dreams. What they are really saying is, "This is what I would do if I were you, given my history and my fears." This is why blindly following advice is dangerous. You can end up living a life designed to soothe someone else's anxieties, rather than one that honors your own truth. The person telling you to play it safe may be projecting their own fear of failure. It's rarely neutral. The Stoics emphasized knowing yourself first. Before you let the world's voices in, be grounded in your own values. Learn to filter advice. Does it come from a place of expansion or limitation? You can listen respectfully without absorbing. In the end, you are the one who has to live with the consequences. Trust your own intuition. It knows you better than anyone else. 15. Overthinking is just delayed action. Overthinking feels productive. We analyze a problem from every angle, run through countless what-if scenarios, and tell ourselves we are being careful. But in most cases, we are not preparing, we are procrastinating. Overthinking is fear dressed up in a business suit. It's the mind's clever way of creating the illusion of progress while keeping us safely in the harbor of inaction. You cannot think your way into clarity. Clarity is forged in the crucible of real-world experience. You can't steer a parked car. Only when you put the car in motion can you adjust your course. One small, imperfect action will give you more useful feedback than 1,000 hours of speculation. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This is the definition of overthinking. We live through 1,000 failures in our minds to avoid one potential failure in reality. The antidote to overthinking is not more thinking, it's action. Pick the smallest possible step and do it now. Momentum shatters the paralysis of analysis. 16. You can't heal in the same place. You were hurt. We often cling to familiar environments, even when they are the source of our pain. We tell ourselves that staying is a sign of strength or loyalty, but this is a dangerous fallacy. A wound cannot heal if it is constantly being reopened. No matter how much inner work you do, if you remain in the same toxic soil that poisoned your roots, you will never truly thrive. Time does not heal all wounds. Time just passes. It is what you do with that time and where you spend it that matters. A toxic environment, a job, a family dynamic, a social circle can keep your nervous system in constant high alert, preventing the very safety required for healing. Healing is a process of softening. This cannot happen if you are constantly being triggered and forced to put your armor back on. Leaving is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of profound self-respect. It's the recognition that the environment that shaped you may not be the one that can sustain you. This isn't running from your problems, it's running towards your healing. It takes immense courage to walk away from the familiar, but sometimes it is the only path to becoming whole. You have a right to plant yourself in a garden where you can bloom. 17. Your attention shapes your identity. Your attention is the most powerful currency you possess. Where you direct it is the single most important decision you make, because what you focus on, you feed. Whatever you consistently pay attention to, you give life to within your mind. If you focus on fear, your world will fill with threats. If you focus on what's lacking, you will live in scarcity. But if you intentionally direct your attention towards gratitude, opportunity, and growth, your entire reality will shift. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about taking radical responsibility for your perception of it. Your brain has a filtering mechanism called the reticular activating system, RAS. It highlights what you've told it is important. If you constantly dwell on negativity, your RAS will find evidence to confirm that the world is a terrible place. Conversely, if you train your focus on what is good, you will begin to see it everywhere. Your identity is not fixed. It is shaped every day by what you pay attention to. The conversations you have, the content you consume, the thoughts you rehearse. These are the building blocks of your future self. Guard your attention with your life. It is the raw material from which you construct your reality. 18. Confidence comes from doing, not feeling. We have a backward understanding of confidence. We think it's a prerequisite for action. We say, "I'll do it when I feel more confident." But this is like waiting for the applause before the performance. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It is a result you earn. It is the byproduct of action, not the cause of it. Confidence is the internal reputation you build with yourself by keeping the promises you make to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to wake up early but consistently hit snooze, you teach your subconscious that your word means nothing. You erode your self-trust, but every time you do the hard thing you said you would, especially when you don't feel like it, you lay another brick in the foundation of unshakable confidence. It's built in 1,000 small, unglamorous moments of follow-through. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the belief that you can handle things even if you are afraid. The only way to develop that belief is to accumulate a stack of evidence that proves it. You do the thing that scares you, you survive, and your brain learns you are more capable than you thought. Stop waiting for a feeling. Start building a track record. 19. People remember how you made them feel. In our hyper-connected, performance-driven world, we are obsessed with being impressive. We carefully craft our words and curate our online personas. But here is a truth that can simplify your life immeasurably. People will rarely remember the clever things you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Your legacy is not your highlight reel. It's the emotional imprint you leave on others. Were you present? Did you listen? Or were you just waiting to talk? Did you make them feel seen or small? The energy you bring into a room will always speak louder than your words. You cannot fake presence or kindness. In a world where most are only half listening, giving someone your full attention is a revolutionary act. The Stoics taught that our focus should be on our own character, on virtues like kindness and empathy. True influence comes from being the most grounded, most present person in the room. People are carrying invisible burdens. You don't need to fix their problems. Often, the greatest gift you can give is to be a safe, non-judgmental presence. That is what they will remember. 20. Live for who you're becoming. Every choice you make today is a vote cast for your future self. When you hit snooze, you vote for a self who prioritizes comfort over discipline. When you avoid a difficult conversation, you vote for a self who lives with unresolved conflict. When you choose distraction over focused work, you vote for a self with unfulfilled potential. These small daily choices may seem insignificant, but they are the atoms that make up your destiny. You must start living, not for the person you are today, but for the person you aspire to become. Think of it like investing. You don't expect a massive return overnight. You trust the process of compounding growth. Every difficult discipline choice is an investment in your future self. That future self is counting on you. They hope you will choose the workout over the couch, the hard work over the easy distraction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts is a direct result of the quality of your choices. Your identity is the sum total of your daily habits. With each choice, you are either moving closer to your highest potential or further away. The path is being paved in this very moment. Your future isn't something you find, it's something you build, one vote at a time. The 20 truths we have explored are not passive lessons to be merely understood. They are a call to action, a manifesto for a life of radical agency and personal authorship. They remove the safety net of convenient excuses and the comfort of willful ignorance, leaving you with a powerful and perhaps daunting responsibility. The responsibility for the quality of your own life. The thread that weaves all these truths together is a simple yet profound Stoic principle. True freedom is not the absence of external difficulties, but the presence of internal discipline. It is the understanding that while you cannot control the events of the world, you have absolute sovereignty over how you respond to them. Your freedom lies in the space between stimulus and response, and in that space is your power to choose. You do not need more information. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment, for a wave of motivation, or for permission from someone else. Every truth laid bare here points to the same inescapable conclusion. The power to transform your life already resides within you, waiting to be activated by your daily choices. The journey to becoming the person you admire is not a single heroic leap, but 1,000 small, courageous steps taken in the quiet of the everyday. It is the yes to the discomfort of growth. It is the firm no to a violation of your boundaries. It is the decision to wake up 5 minutes earlier. It is the choice to consume content that nourishes rather than numbs. If this manifesto has awakened something powerful within you, the best way to support our work is by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and sharing this video with one person who you believe needs to hear this message. Wisdom grows when it is shared. And don't forget to comment below with which of the 20 truths impacted you the most. Your perspective is valuable. Therefore, the final question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you are willing. Are you willing to stop outsourcing your happiness? Are you willing to take full ownership of your habits, your attention, and your energy? Are you willing to honor your future self through the actions you take today? Do not wait for change. Be the change. Choose it quietly, daily, relentlessly, because your future is not something you find. It is something you build, brick by brick, choice by choice. Begin to build.